Hi, good morning, everybody, and welcome. This event will focus on the creation of education portals for staff, students, and parents using Drive and Overdrive. And these type of sites will let you share important information with relevant stakeholders of your institution. My name is Sean Power, and I'll be taking you through the session today. I'm going to provide a general introduction to Overdrive for those who haven't seen it so far, and then there will be a couple of demonstrations. One will be a recorded video of the site creation process, and then I'll show you a live demonstration of how Overdrive can be used specifically in the education market. If you have any questions during the event, then please use the chat in this Meet event. Just click on the comment icon at the top right of the screen to open it. We'll answer any questions raised at the end of the session, and we'll reply after the session for those we don't get to answer during the event, but hopefully we'll have enough time to get through them all. The event will last around 30 minutes, and we'll make a recording available afterwards, so you can review the information or share it with your colleagues after the event. So, quick introduction to Overdrive. Overdrive is designed for organizations using Google Workspace. And this is because Overdrive is deeply integrated with Workspace, and it lets you create a website or a portal automatically from content held within Drive and elsewhere across Workspace and beyond indeed. With Overdrive, you can create great looking web pages and portals without the need for specialist skills. You simply decide what content you wish to share, choose from a wide range of display tiles to suit your content and your audience, and then add in your users. And you'll see how this works as we go through the demonstration today. Your users will have easy online access to the resources and information that they need. And also, any site created by Overdrive is automatically mobile friendly, so your users can access the site on any device that they choose. The key strength of Overdrive is the range of potential uses available, such as intranets, extranets, education portals, or event sites, etc. And as you see in the demonstration, a site can be created very quickly to share information with people inside or outside the organization. So we're concentrating today on the education market and how Overdrive can be used for that sector, but the principles apply to all other uses and all other sectors as well. But in education, there are some popular uses specifically for this sector. And one of the things we find most interesting in the education market, the variety of audiences to whom information is shared. And each of these groups can have their own dedicated site, or we can have one site for which has its sections segmented, so they are visible to relevant visitors only. Overdrive is hosted on Google Cloud Platform, and Google uses GCP to host its own well-known services, including Gmail, Drive, YouTube, Search, etc. GCP provides global scalability and world-class security for Overdrive, and it allows our team to concentrate on adding new and exciting features to the product. We have Overdrive customers worldwide, and here is a selection from different industries and locations, and also different uses of Overdrive, as you can see. Particularly with some customers, such as Tarmac and Western Homes, we've created customized Overdrive solutions to meet their specific requirements. And Overdrive sites can be made public on request, and a good example of this is UNESCO Sardona, which uses Overdrive to share large quantities of scientific research information. So here are some more Overdrive customers, and this time in the education sector. We have a number of school districts using Overdrive for a variety of purposes, as well as individual schools, colleges, and universities. And education and training providers in the private sector also benefit from Overdrive's unique ability to share information quickly and securely to their chosen audience. Good, so hopefully that's given you some background information on Overdrive. We now have 2 demonstrations to hopefully bring everything to life for you. As I said, the first is a recorded video of the site creation process, just so you can see how that works and how sites are created. And then I'll show you a few features of Overdrive on the public education demonstration site, so you can actually see it in action. So first, the video.
With Overdrive, you can easily set up a smart-looking and useful site in minutes using existing content from Google Drive. We're a further education college, and we need to connect with a wide variety of stakeholders, not just our students and staff, but parents and alumni, and also the wider community. Today, I'm going to create a student portal to share all kinds of information, resources, and assets with our students, not just learning content, but academic calendars and social events, campus news, and other student support and guidance. Overdrive sites are built from Google Drive folders, and all of the content that I'm going to need is right here. Once I've connected Overdrive to Drive, I can use this menu to both create new sites and jump across to existing ones. As you can see, my site has been automatically created using the content in Google Drive. Notice how all of the folders from Drive are now items in the menus. And the content of the folders has also been brought across as pages in those menus, and they'll stay in sync if I make changes in here or in Drive. Now, anyone inside, or if I choose, outside the college, has access to these files without having to use Drive. I don't have to waste time emailing the latest curriculum info or extension work to anyone because the latest versions live right here and can be accessed 24/7. So let's go back to the homepage and start fixing it up. The Assets folder is where I'm going to keep logos and other files needed for the site, and I don't need it to appear in the menus, so I'll switch it off like this. My site design is looking a bit basic, so I'm going to find our college logo. And use Template Designer to pick a template that suits our college branding. These advanced settings give me lots of control over the design and layout if I want to go further. Now I'm going to press the pencil icon over here to activate Page Builder and start adding a few elements. I'm going to start with an image box and pick something a bit inspirational to brighten things up. Now I'll replace this folder tile with Calendar, Contacts, a Twitter feed, and a YouTube video. You can include easily any number of calendars that show what campus activity is happening when, which is a really useful way to keep everyone in the loop. And I'll bring in these existing Google contacts as a quick go-to place for students to find whoever they need. Bring in this welcome video. And I'll finish with a Twitter tile, so everyone can follow what's going on with the students at Sanford College. My homepage is in better shape, so let's take a quick look at some other content. This folder contains everything that I want to share with my students on education resources, and there's a variety of content from curriculum PDFs to coursework support, including slide decks, docs and sheets, and other helpful info. It's a kind of mini learning resource center. The content is already in Drive. This is just a much better way of sharing it. Users with edit permissions, like other members of academic, pastoral, or admin team, are able to create and upload new files. And edit existing ones. All the campus news will appear here. These are all Google Docs, and there's a choice of how we can display them. So I think we'll go for blog view. Then you see a thumbnail image and the text. And if you click on it, you get the whole article. And this area of the site includes other support information that our college pastoral team have dropped into Drive folders for the site. And finally, we're in the alumni section, which is where our past students can connect with our current students and with the college. Access can be easily controlled in the user settings, and there's a choice of login methods too. So there we go. With an area dedicated to parents and links to the wider community, we've got a smart, user-friendly student portal set up in minutes, sharing a huge variety of education resources with stakeholders in a quick and easy way. Get started at overdrive.io today.
Great. So hopefully that's given you an idea as to how you can create sites very quickly and share those sites with your chosen audience. What I'm going to do now is show you some of the features particularly relevant for this type of education site. And again, if you have any questions, then please just pop them into the chat box and we'll happily answer them at the end of the session. So this is our demonstration education site. We'll send you the link to this site after today's session so you can visit it yourself. And it's created to demonstrate what a finished education portal could look like. And in this case, for this fictitious college called Sanford. For this part of the event, I'll show you a handful of the many features available which are useful when using Overdrive as an education portal, just to build on the previous demonstration. There are multiple ways in which your selected users can sign into the site, and that's not just via Google. We have the ability to allow them to access the site using their Microsoft or Facebook credentials, amongst others, and even simply email and password. And this ability to allow non-Google users to access your Overdrive portal makes them great for any institution who wants to share their information to a variety of different audiences quickly and simply. And we also have the opportunity to segment the information on the site. So certain sections may only be visible to certain users. And this works very well for institutions who can create a site for all their users and then restrict access to the information which is pertinent to each user or each group of user, the students, parents, staff, etc. And alternatively, the licensing model allows any number of sites to be created. So having one dedicated site per audience is also possible. This is the homepage of this demonstration site. And when you start this site or visit this site, you'll see this tour, which is displayed on the site. This is quite useful for you to follow because it shows you some things which I won't be showing you today. But in this case, we'll just close that off, just so it's not disturbing us on the screen. For this particular site, we've kept the homepage very simple, as it just has links mostly to the information elsewhere on the site. And for the site design itself, everything on the site is customizable. The sections, the menus, the colors, the logos, templates, etc., they can all be tailored to your needs. It is important on sites like this, which tend to have lots of information on them, that your users can quickly find and access the information you need, that you make available across the whole of the portal. And the search function feature does this really well. So I come up here, click on search, and I'll search for art. And any asset which relates to that search phrase is displayed in this list. The results not only show assets with the search criteria in the title, but also those with the search terms within the content of the document, such as these curriculum agendas and these images. We can also see that the type of asset is displayed in these search results, so we can easily identify the asset that we are searching for. If I come up here to the department and the art and design and information folder, as we saw in the previous demonstration, we can automatically sync files between Google Drive and Overdrive. So once your files are in your Overdrive site, they can be published directly to Classroom using this icon here. And you can do this either as assignments, questions, announcements, or course materials. And effectively, this publishes a link in the class back into this Overdrive site, which completes the publishing process. And it ensures that students can easily find the information that they need. And we find that this process is particularly useful when using Overdrive as a curriculum development portal, where all course materials are curated in the Overdrive site before publishing. The course can be designed and created outside of Classroom and then distributed when ready. It also enables us to publish multiple files at once to Classroom, and which Drive only allows you to publish one at a time. So again, given another advantage. Discussions are an important element of most Overdrive sites, and Overdrive caters for these very well. So in this forums and this art and design forum, for instance, as well as providing the option for including discussions on pages with other content, such as a document or an image, specific discussion pages can be created, such as this one here, which is specifically for the art and design course. These discussions can either be public, so everyone on the site can see them, or they can be private and restricted to certain users. So for an example, a staff forum may only be accessed by staff members and not students, for instance. Other ways that we can interact with the site, if I come up here to information and finance and applications, for instance, you see that we can collect information from your site users in a variety of ways. Here we're showing a Google form, which is just one of the ways in which we can interact and collect information from your site users. Now, Google Forms store their responses within Google Spreadsheets, and we can see that we can interact with spreadsheets in a fairly interesting manner. So in this Responses tab, we're showing the Responses spreadsheet embedded, and we've got powerful sorting and filtering functions as well. And that's interesting because we can actually take this to the next level. So if I come up here to our Directory tab, what we're showing here is just a list of phone numbers effectively. But we can do some more advanced document embedding, where we can manipulate the contents of the underlying Google documents, which are held within Google Drive. So here where you see this embedded Google Sheet, and we have grouped the rows together by department, and also added an advanced filter to enable your users to find the information that they need really quickly. All this manipulation in this Overdrive site does not affect the underlying sheet in Google Drive. As we mentioned before, you can, if you wish, give your users the ability, with the appropriate permissions, to edit this sheet right here within within Overdrive. So not forcing them to go back into Drive to find the right folder, find the right document and edit there. We can do that directly within the Overdrive site. And obviously any changes which are made within Overdrive are reflected back into the underlying sheet within Google Drive. And we can do something similar with Google Docs. So here we have a menu item called Campus Safety. And we've got an embedded doc here, embedded directly onto the Overdrive page. So this source is a Google Doc. We've taken the contents out of the Google Doc and displaying it directly onto the page. And once again, any changes made at either end are automatically reflected at the other. So edit the document in Drive, it will change on this page. Edit it on this page, and the underlying document in Drive will change too. So that's all I wanted to show you on the education demo site for now. As I mentioned, there are plenty of other features available which are contained on this public site. So I would encourage you to visit it after the event to see some of the other features that I haven't shown you today. And also remember, if you want to ask any questions about anything that we've shown so far, then please do so and we'll happily walk through those. Okay, so I'm just going back to the presentation. What I'm going to do now is just give you a quick summary on where we are and what we've seen so far. So as you saw in the demonstrations, an Overdrive site can be created automatically using Google Drive folders and files. And building a site is fast and efficient compared with traditional methods. And so no specialist skills are required. And where a site needs large amounts of enterprise content, Overdrive does all the heavy lifting for you. Many types of content can be transformed automatically into powerful and user-friendly web pages. We use content from Google Workspace as well as external data. And pages can be easily updated or maintained by editing the original file, either from the site itself or from Google Drive. And this sync between Overdrive and the source location enables the site to be automatically updated when content changes at either end. And Overdrive has a number of integrations within the Google environment, such as Maps and Google Data Studio. And also it integrates with products from outside Google, like YouTube and Smartsheets, etc. And finally, Overdrive can be customized to meet specific customer requirements. Now, just a quick look at the licensing model for Overdrive. Pricing starts at $1 per user per month, and we have discounts available for education and non-profit organizations, as you can see. The number of sites that can be created is unlimited, which means that your users can create as many sites for as many different uses as they need under this licensing scheme. We do have further information on the pricing plans on our website, which is overdrive.io. And again, you will send you the link to that after the event. And again, if you have any specific requirements, such as large volumes of users, then we'll happily talk about the costs specifically. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions. If you do have anything else that you want to ask, then again, just please pop it into the chat box. Harsha asks, can you give me a brief on the admin console? Yeah, Harshit. So the way that you create sites within Overdrive is very simple. You're basically creating as a site creator the site that you are seeing. So you do have access to additional areas which allow you to add pages, add tiles to sites, and configure tiles on those pages. Might be worth having a separate discussion to show you that, because that's a fairly detailed conversation. So we're happy to set up another session for that. Question from Mansi, will it cost extra for G Suite user? Yes, I think I've just been through the pricing. So if you think about $1 per user per month with discounts for education, and obviously we can talk about if you've got large numbers of users. Did have another question which is about public sites. So any site that you create can be made public, which is effectively free of licensing. So once you've got your licenses in place, and you can make any site that you have public, So anybody can access the information on there. Clearly not useful for private or sensitive information, but if you've got information which is available in the public domain, then creating a site, making it public, and controlling the assets and the data on the site from Google Drive it saves you a lot of time and can be very efficient. There was a question about the difference between an editor and a viewer licenses. You saw 2 licenses. So an editor is effectively someone who can add new content or edit existing content on one or more sites, whereas a viewer is someone who just consumes information on the site. So they may download information if they have permission to do that. They may complete forms, take part in discussions and forums, but they can't add new content or edit existing documents on there. And again, as I mentioned before, once a user is licensed, then they can access multiple Overdrive sites. So you can use multiple Overdrive sites for different purposes, different projects, different departments, etc., whichever you want to do. Okay, so hopefully that's giving you a good introduction to Overdrive. We've got some recommended next steps as you continue your investigation. If you haven't done so already, you could create a trial site to try out some of the features shown in this demonstration. And after the session, we'll send you links to our public demonstration sites, including the education one we showed earlier, and also the trial process. So you can visit them, start your own site, see what the finished site might look like with the demonstration sites, and then you can share with your colleagues as appropriate. If we do have more complex requirements or want to get in deeper, such as looking at the admin process, then we can arrange an individual call with either ourselves or one of our partners. So we'll look at your requirements in detail, advise on the best approach to see how you can get the most out of Overdrive. So we'll follow up with more information, including those links as mentioned. And so if you've got any questions, then just reply back to that message. Happy to arrange another session, answer any questions that you may have, or help you however we can. So I thank you for your time. Thank you.